'cause I couldn't even if I tried. It's over now. I guess it really is my time. I don't wanna go, but it's time I gotta say goodbye. So hold me now, 'cause this'll be our last time.
Johnny Kendhammer Podcast, episode 16. Still in Pattaya, Thailand. We are testing out this new DJI Mic 3 microphone. Just been spending the last hour and a half getting the settings figured out, trying to figure out what to do with this thing. It was 11,000 baht, so about $325. Let's hope that the sound quality is vastly improved out of me not using a microphone at all. I use a website called Auphonic that uses AI to enhance your voice. Hopefully with the microphone and that, it'll be even cleaner and crisper. I think it'll also help with my approaches as well. I had previously just a little cheap mic that didn't sound that loud, picked up a lot of sounds. So it's difficult to always hear my sets. And I like to record my sets because it helps me improve. I can listen and figure out where I missed certain topics, if I could have teased there, if I seeded the date, if I was giving her a good experience, just overall great learning experience if you record your sets. That's what I'm doing to improve my dating life. So we'll see how that works. I will start recording my sets again. I have not really been doing it because that microphone is terrible and day game here is not ideal. But today's topic, I was reading on Reddit, a guy, very similar situation to mine. His wife initiated divorce 2 weeks ago, and today is her birthday. And they were married for 10 years, or they were together for 10 years, married for 4, so very long-term relationship. 2 weeks ago, she initiated the divorce, and I've hardly seen her since. Today is her birthday. I'm really sad not to be there with her to celebrate. I have a lot of FOMO, and it feels weird not to be planning anything for her. She's the only person I've ever been with. What's even worse is that our anniversary is in May. How do I navigate days like this? I feel dead inside. So I thought I would comment on this post. Maybe one day he will hear it. Maybe you guys are going through something very similar. And some of the feedback that worked for me, maybe it'll work for you. But this guy's dilemma situation was very similar to mine. My wife went out on her birthday. She came home that night, told me that she had made out with her coworker and that she didn't want to be married anymore. And then 2 weeks from that was our 13th wedding anniversary. So all this happened in very short time span. I'm going out with my friend to the baseball game, thinking she's just going out with her coworkers to celebrate. It's her birthday. And then she comes home and tells me that she made out with her coworker. I don't know if that's all that happened. I don't know if she even met up with her other coworkers. Doesn't really matter. But the fact that it was on her birthday and then our 13th wedding anniversary was just 2 weeks away, that's a pain that I don't know if you guys have ever felt, but that's something that just completely rocks your world. It's not something that I was expecting to happen. I was in bed waiting for her to get home. It got to be like 2 a.m. I was trying to get to sleep, but obviously I wasn't. I was wondering what was going on. She comes home, tells me the news, and I just shut down. I didn't know what to do. I got into the basement, started working out. She wanted to talk about it. I was angry, hurt, did not want to see her, didn't want to have any conversations about this. I just wanted to do something with this pain. And the only thing I could think of doing was to work out. And I think part of that was because in my mind, I knew I was going to have to do something to change my situation. If she was going to leave, I was going to have to get in better shape. Or maybe it's just a way for me to hurt myself a little in a good way, like working out so that I feel sore, or just anything to distract myself. I didn't know what else to do, honestly. But I remember I didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to stay at the house because I was upset and didn't want to talk about it. So she slept in her car that night. And I remember apologizing to her that I made her sleep in her car, that I wasn't able to have a conversation. And maybe I should have been more of an adult and been able to have that conversation. But at the time, I was, like I said, I didn't know what to do. But the nice guy in me was willing to do anything to get her back. I didn't have boundaries. I don't know if all they did was make out. Even if they did, like, that's a boundary. I shouldn't be apologizing to her for what happened. But at the time, I was 220 pounds, didn't really have any friends, still wasn't going anywhere in life, just working, coming home, doing nothing. And I didn't have any social skills or women in my life, so I definitely didn't have options. So I was willing to do whatever I could to get her back. I wanted that pain to go away. I would have felt like I was winning, or I guess I don't know what the word is. I guess I would have felt, I don't know what I would have felt. I wouldn't have been happy that she came back. I would still always remember that she cheated on me. This happened in the past. She had texted a member from school, said that he was sexy. And because I didn't have options, I didn't have any boundaries, I just put up with it. She apologized. We worked it out. Years go by. We still fight, still try to we work it out for as long as we can, but neither of us is super happy. Yada, yada, yada. Stuff happens. And this would have been the same situation. She would have came back. I never would have forgot about it. We would have just had more issues, probably would have delayed it another couple years. Then another fight happens, and then things go back to the way they were. She cheats, I cheat, or something happens. Like, we just wouldn't be happy. Neither of us would be improving. We would have just been stuck. So divorce ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. It didn't start out that way. For months, I was hurt. I couldn't eat for a few weeks, always thinking about what she's doing. She's got her new apartment. When she moved into her new apartment, I still had that nice guy of, I'll help you move. You'll see how good I am compared to this new guy. Aren't you going to regret leaving me? So I had a lot of nice guy's tendencies. I was really no options, no boundaries, like, really not an attractive person. It's 100% on me that she left. I take personal responsibility for the things that happened in my life. I could have been a better husband. I could have been more attractive. I could have just left after she broke boundaries in the past. I could have had boundaries in the first place and maybe never would have got together. Who knows? But fact of the matter is, she left. She made that choice. There is nothing I can do with it. In the words of David Goggins, fuck her. She made her decisions. I'm going to do what's best for me and what I'm going to do going forward. So with this guy, he says his wife left 2 weeks ago. She initiated the divorce, and it's her birthday today. Yeah, that is painful. That sucks. But the fact of the matter is that she initiated the divorce. She left. Can you really trust her again to not do that in the future? Me personally, I don't think so. I think once somebody is willing to leave once, you always have it in the back of their mind that they will leave again. Plus, you don't really know what she's doing over those 2 weeks. And are you really super happy? Are you just actually in scarcity? You've been together for 10 years, married for 4, and this is the only woman you've ever been with. So are you 100% sure she was even the right fit for you? Or did you just get together with her out of scarcity? This is how I was. I was 22 when I got married. Really no dating experience. I was happy to have a girl finally like me. Obviously, we loved each other. We had good chemistry. But there was a lot of red flags. And those red flags was really a result of me not being masculine and not choosing from a place of abundance. If I had a bunch of women that I could have chosen from, maybe I wouldn't have put up with that stuff and we would have had an even better relationship. Or maybe we wouldn't got together at all. But when I see that you're married for 10 years or together for 10 years, married for 4, and she's the only person you've ever been with, you don't really have a lot of information. I don't know what the marriage was like, if there was ups and downs. I'm going to guess if she's initiating a divorce, she's not very happy. And typically if she's not happy, there's situations where you're not happy either. And I know plenty of people that are in marriages that don't work. They come home, they watch TV together, they have some good nights, but overall they're not really happy. They're just stuck. They're struggling. They're not living out their best lives. It's just something that you kind of just cope with and just drift, I guess, is how I would put it. But once you get divorced, there's no going back. You have two options. You can either sit around and be stuck, feel miserable, feel the FOMO that you're not able to plan stuff with her, or you can do something positive and productive. This is something that I learned early on listening to Tony Robbins, by him saying, by not making a choice, you are making a choice. So by you deciding to sit around, feel FOMO instead of doing something productive, that is you making a choice, whether you are aware of it or not. So that is something to be aware of. Could you go to the gym? Could you go do stuff that would improve you so that you would just be overall a more attractive person? Maybe she would want to come back to that guy, but maybe by then you don't even want her back. Also, something that really helped me out was the fact that nobody is coming to save you. Yes, it hurts. It does suck. It took me a couple months, probably more than it needed to, had I listened to this stuff earlier in my journey instead of just moping around, writing notes on what I could say to get her back, or just looking at my phone, wondering if she's texted me, or looking on Facebook to see if she's active. I wasted a lot of mental energy worrying about what she was doing, more so than what I could be doing. And once I heard that no one was coming to save me, that really woke me up to just realizing, like, yep, okay, she's gone. She's got her new boy. She hasn't messaged me in weeks. Obviously, there's nothing I can do now. So no one's coming to save me. No one's going to bring me to the gym to make me look more attractive. No one's going to boost my social skills so that I could meet somebody new. Nobody's going to, take me to trivia nights so that I can go meet new people and make new friends. It was up to me to get out of my house. So I would say that's one of the biggest takeaways for me. It sounds like this just happened to him 2 weeks ago. So a lot of this will be hard to sink in. I don't know how many of you guys have dealt with a divorce or a long-term relationship. But you really depend on that person. Like, you think, yeah, you're not really happy, but you also don't want to lose this person. Like with my ex-wife, she was with me a third of my life. That's a huge amount of time. Yes, you fight. Yes, you're not entirely happy, but it's super scary to just be off on your own. It's somebody you thought would love you forever. You believe that lie. You believe that fairy tale that I don't have to really give my best. She's going to love me forever. Yes, I'm overweight now. Yes, I don't have any interesting hobbies. Yes, we don't go travel or do anything cool. But she's just supposed to be my soulmate. She's supposed to love me no matter what. And I don't believe that anymore. Think of it this way. If your wife decided to just eat garbage all the time and balloon up to 400 pounds, she stopped wearing makeup, stopped trying to look nice, would you really still love her the same way? I think most of you would say probably not. You would lose attraction. You'd wonder what you were doing. And I got in that same trap. I felt like I was being a good husband. I was bringing home enough money. We had our cars. We had our house. We could do stuff whenever we wanted, kind of could buy really whatever we wanted. Not that we spent a lot, but I thought I was a good husband. And Tony Robbins says, if you're a good man, you get bad results. And that's pretty true. Like I was a good person. I was on paper a good husband, but I wasn't a great husband. I wasn't an outstanding husband. I wasn't the guy that would just come home, get shit done, lead, look productive, be productive, in shape, like a guy that you would respect. I was just losing value over time. So I don't blame her at all for leaving. And her leaving actually woke me up that I had to make these changes, that I was going to have to start losing weight. I was going to have to build social skills. I was going to have to move. So her leaving was what really woke me up. But getting back to some of the things that really helped me the most to really start on my new journey. Over the last 9 years, I've lived in some of the biggest cities in the US, lived in different countries around the world, traveled, had great relationships, met women that I never would have thought possible, that would never have been attracted to the guy I used to be. And that's all because of some of the actions I started taking. So I'll just go through a little bit of other things that helped me outside of realizing that nobody's coming to save me, I had to start doing new stuff. So one thing I also started doing was from Jordan Peterson. A lot of the stuff comes from me reading books and listening to positive inputs. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Jordan Peterson at the time. Like, they really showed me that I didn't have to be the low confident kid who was stuck. I grew up thinking that you are who you are. You're born the way you are. I was born to not be popular. I was born not to be attractive. I was lucky to have a wife that loved me and who was attracted to me for a while. Like, I got lucky. I need to lock that down. And it was when I started listening to these guys that I realized that I'm keeping myself stuck. I'm not working on my social skills. I'm not doing things that build my confidence. I'm taking the easy way out. I'm blaming others. Others have other things that I don't. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't try. I escaped through food, video games, just coming home and watching Netflix. I never even put in the effort to become more social or to become more attractive. I just assumed that girls don't like me. I'm lucky to have anybody. That's all it needs. That's it. Bye. So I started listening to those guys. Tremendous help. Really love listening to them. I would listen to them in the car. I listen to them on Audible. I will do 10 minutes a day of some positive inputs, book on tape, whatever that is. But Jordan Peterson really got me started on just making my bed in the morning. And as little as that sounds, it really got me focused on just making bigger improvements throughout the day. If you make your bed in the morning, you can start stacking on new routines as well. Because if if your bed's a mess, your room is a mess, and just making your day is an easy way to start with a win. So from there, I started making my bed, and then I started listening to books on tape when I was going to work rather than music. And then I started going to the gym more because I was feeling better about myself. Then I started going to practice my social skills. So just that small thing of making my bed, that had a tremendous difference. I also started listening to like RSD back in the day, RSD and Tom Torero, learning that I could be attractive to women again. And maybe that's not something that this guy is looking for right now. I knew for me, I was always wanting to be attractive to women. In high school, I felt ignored. I always see these hot girls and I always saw them with other guys. And at the time, I just assumed, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but you're in your mind, you're like, if she only knew what kind of man I was, she would pick me. If she only knew how nice of a guy I was, how much I would treat her right, I would be so different than these other guys. And that's just ego. That's just me trying to, like, I would do all this stuff. I would basically simp for her and then she would see how great I am. But a girl doesn't want a simp. She wants a guy who has boundaries. I was not confident. There's no way I could have kept a cute girl. I would have just clung on to her like I did my ex. So that wasn't going to work out. So I had that mindset in high school that I wanted to do whatever it took to be attractive. I never thought that was possible. So I settled with the girl that came along. And then I came across Tom Torero and RSD, and I started to see that you could improve your dating life. It is a skill set. You could learn to be more social. You could learn to set boundaries for yourself. You could drop the nice guy behavior and go for things that you want. You can improve your sexual marketplace value. You can do that through educating yourself. You can do that through charisma. You can do that through style. You can do that through money. You can do that through bunch of stuff. I don't have it all on me right now, but there's things in my control that if I started doing, I would become more attractive. So I started working out. I started losing weight. I started eating healthier foods like eggs and protein shakes and green juice. I never used to eat that stuff. And I started to just do whatever I could to become more attractive. I started to go out and learn social skills, dropping the nice guy and being able to tease girls and have my own opinions of things instead of going to a date and just agreeing with whatever they're saying. I've had girls in the past mention to me that they don't want to tell me what they did because they're afraid I would just say, yeah, I like that too, just to connect with them, try to get them to like me. And I understand where that's coming from. I was that guy in the past where I would say I like certain things to try to connect with her. And then you end up getting with her and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't really like doing any of that stuff. And yeah, I don't want to be that guy. So the divorce really woke me up into realizing that I could become more attractive and that I probably was settling with a girl out of scarcity. Just glad somebody came along trying to escape the reality of having to become a man, having to go for what I want. So that was the start. And then also I moved out of my hometown. I I was very hurt that she had already had somebody new in her life. That is a pain. That is a distracting factor that I've never really had since that I can really remember. Like, this was somebody that I loved and was with for a third of my life, and then she's moved on immediately with a new guy. So all I could focus on was what she was doing. So I decided that I was going to do what I could to make her regret leaving me. And I don't want to make that sound like it's vindictive or anything. I wanted to do it as I'm going to improve so much that you're going to look back and you're going to realize how great I was and what a mistake you made. I don't know if that's petty. I don't know if I shouldn't be saying that, but that's what I thought. I was determined to make her regret leaving me. She made her choice. I wish her the best. I don't want to see her in a bad relationship or hurt or anything. I wished her the best when we left, but I was determined to make her regret leaving me. So I traveled to London. This was the first time I ever left the country. This was about a month after she had told me what was happening. I went to London with my friend. I was going to make her jealous that I was going to start traveling and seeing the world. I wanted to distract myself. It was a great trip. I had a lot of fun. And it really woke me up to what else is out there. I could go out to travel to these different countries. I have freedom now. I could literally go anywhere I want, and I don't have to tell anybody. I can just pick up and leave. I don't have to ask anybody's permission about the finances. I don't have to see if it's in our schedule. I don't have to see if it's okay. I just booked the trip, I left, and that's where really some of my spontaneity came in because I had freedom now. I could literally do what I wanted. I could go talk to who I wanted. I could get as drunk as I wanted. And London was a great trip because I was always sheltered as a kid. I never really pushed the bound. Like I was always felt safe. Always tried to be the good kid. Obviously, I did drugs and stuff, but I was very much like I don't want to be spontaneous. I just want to be in my little bubble. And going to London, we got there at midnight. We couldn't check into our hostel until 3 p.m. So we just walked the streets of London all night and we just figured it out. It was very much just you're going to figure some stuff out. You're going to have to become at least somewhat competent and confident to at least survive for the night. Like, it wasn't a huge deal, but for me at the time, it was like, oh shit, I've never had to experience this before in a foreign country. Can't even check in. I guess I'll just figure this out. And that's one of the best ways I found to really improve yourself as well is traveling. You just kind of see what is possible. I came here to Pattaya, no clue what to expect. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'll figure it out. I don't really like it here, but I'll adapt. I'll move on. But getting back to the divorce stuff. Yeah. So making her regret leaving me by just improving myself. I started going to the gym. I started to become more social. I was feeling better. I started to travel. I decided I was going to move out of my hometown because I'm from small town Wisconsin, town of 50,000 people. If I wanted to get into a healthy relationship, I was going to need to choose from a place of abundance this time. She had moved on. She had her boyfriend. I'm not, that's, it's over. There's no going back. So hard pill to swallow, but it's over. And if I would have stayed in that town, I would have had to go to the bars to meet somebody because I was still overweight. So online dating is not really going to work for me. And in a small town, it's very hard to set up dates online because those girls have options. Most girls are already locked up anyways. I was still the nice guy. So I imagine, would have settled with a girl who had kids already, just saying, yeah, I'll be the good stepfather. That's the kind of guy I am. I would have met her at the bar. I would have been very drunk because I didn't know how to talk to girls, and she would have picked me because there's no way I would have gone out and, approached or uh like I would there's just she would have picked me 100% and I would have just been happy to have somebody again. So moving out of my small town to Boston gave me the opportunity to meet a bunch of people. I practiced my social skills a lot. I've actually been posting a lot of my old field reports in the school group. Shameless plug. It is free though, so there you go. But it's interesting to see a lot of the mindsets that I still have to this day that still creep up. But there, I was just in the very beginning of the process of meeting new people. And I'm having these crazy adventures, like going to strip clubs and taking girls out to breakfast in the morning and going to karaoke. I'd never done karaoke before. And that was the first time I ever did that, meeting people with like minded goals. And I stopped missing her. I stopped focusing on her because I had a new path in my life. I knew I wanted to go and see new things. I wanted to travel. I really wanted to date the hottest women, and in order to do that, I had to continue to improve myself socially, physically, mentally. So that was really just eye-opening. The divorce is what really sparked that in me. If I didn't have that pain to go through, I would have just continued to drift. If we would have fought and got back together, she makes out with her coworker, I forgive her, she comes back, I'm upset for a little bit, but because it's her fault now, I don't have to really improve. She should be apologizing to me is how I'm thinking about it now. Like, I feel like that would have been my mindset. Like, oh yeah. But in the back of my mind, I would have been worried about it. Like, she's working with this guy, and I probably would have just escaped through video games or Netflix or whatever. I would not have improved. And if I did, it would have just been temporary. It wouldn't have been because I wanted to. It would have been to do enough to keep her in my life. So going back to this guy, yes, it does suck that, she's initiated the divorce 2 weeks ago, being her birthday, and you're used to celebrating her for the last 10 years. That fucking sucks. You just sit there wondering what she's doing. What can you do? Then the anniversary's coming up. That's going to be tough too. But hopefully this kind of just points out that it can be the best thing that ever happened to you. You can use that pain to really push yourself forward, to date even better women for your life. She's the only person you've ever been with. Maybe she's not the right fit for you. Maybe you're meant to be with a cute Russian girl or a Colombian girl. Go out and travel and see the world and stuff. I've been dating girls from all sorts of different nationalities, and it's crazy just how different they are and how you resonate with certain people from different countries. And just, you just never would know if you're only with that person in your small town. You never venture out. You've been given a gift. Now you have your freedom. Now you can go literally do whatever you want. Go take a trip. Go take a trip for what would be your anniversary. Go see some new stuff. Maybe you meet some random cute girl at a bar and you guys just hit it off, and maybe you don't date. Maybe you just have a good night. Maybe you do start dating. Who knows? Like, anything could happen. You could have all these crazy epic experiences. So hopefully that kind of just emphasizes how pain can really get you on the right track. I had this happen on Sunday, feeling very lazy, eating shitty food, and just did not want to do anything. And I was pretty hard on myself about it. But then I used that pain the next day to do multiple approaches, get numbers, work out, produce content, do shit for my business, like really just push myself, use that pain. You can use that pain in a lot of different areas. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, some crazy stuff that happened last weekend because I've recovered from the divorce instead of just moping around. I know plenty of guys that years go by and they're still upset about their ex. She's moved on, and it's easier for them to stay stuck than to move forward. If I had done that, I'd still be in small town Wisconsin. I saw some pictures of some guys that I went to high school with. They're in their 40s. They're drinking at Oktoberfest at 9 a.m. It's like, okay, you've been doing that for the last 20 some years. Is that really going to be your whole life? Or do you want your life to be where you decide to leave your town, you go out, you have crazy adventures, you go to Thailand, some girl that you met at a restaurant who is with her friend, you approach her, she loves it, you guys go on a date, you guys make out, she's Russian, she's super cute, she's 26 and you're 42, and you hit it off and you're about to leave the restaurant, and then she steps on a stray cat and you have to go to the hospital and find rabies shots for her. Crazy epic night, but that's part of the journey. Like, that's a fun story to have. I never would have had those stories. My most interesting stories in Wisconsin was something cool happened at work, or I saw a cool YouTube video, or I got this new piece of gear in World of Warcraft, or the new Zelda game came out. Like, those were my stories. I didn't have any interesting things to talk about, no interesting adventures. No, I'd never pushed myself to become more interesting or to become more masculine. It was just basically just a boy in a man's body at that time. But now, traveling, getting over it, living a different life, having these crazy stories, the rabies story, the emo bingo story, like, you just accumulate so many fun things. I think obviously it's tough now. If you guys are going through this, I wish you the best. Hopefully this just kind of shows you that if you decided to, you could completely change your life. You could live it entirely. This guy's been together with this girl since he was 18. The only girl he's ever been with. Wouldn't it be, what would it look like if you decided to, for the next 4 years, just try to transform yourself through travel, through dating many women? Maybe you'll meet the girl who's the exact right fit for you. And maybe you'll have a bunch of cool, interesting stories, and you'll just attract even better women because girls want to be with a guy that's traveled and done some cool stuff and is adventurous and will take risks and will take them on cool outings too. Yeah, it's over 30 minutes, so we will cut it there. That's just some of the stuff that I went through. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. I don't know how many of you guys can relate to that. But yeah, being in a long-term relationship and then just having it end is one of those pains that I don't know how many guys experience it, but it'll make or break you for sure. But it is your choice. You're deciding if it's going to make or break you. Many guys will just decide that they want to just stay stuck. They think that the sadder they get, the more it shows that they love her, and they just hope that she comes back. That's kind of what I did for a while. And when that didn't work, I realized no one was coming to save me. It was on me to make some changes. So we'll leave it there. It's hammer time. Enjoy your week. It is Wednesday the 1st here in Pattaya. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.
I'm slowing down, and I don't think that I can fight. I know somehow you find a way to live your life. Remember just to live every day like it's your last, and hold me now, 'cause I think it's time for me to pass. I don't wanna die, I don't know why. This kind of fate was meant for me. You gotta be strong, gotta move on. It's not how it was supposed to be. What do I say? It was never supposed to end up this way. What do I have to do? Was supposed to grow